Election 2011 coverage on Manx Radio. Brought to you by PDMS.
This morning we're going north for a candidate for the Ramsey constituency. Allan Bell, 64, one of the longest serving of the MHKs. I think may well be the longest serving MHK now, particularly after this election. After 7 years as a town commissioner and an unsuccessful attempt for the Keys originally, representing McVannon, he was returned in 1984 and has been a Keys member ever since. He's been a Minister for Tourism and Transport as was, Home Affairs, 9 years at the Treasury. Last year in the restructuring, he became the first Economic Development Minister. He's being tipped as the next Chief Minister. He said he would answer the call but won't declare himself as standing for the role. Is that still the position, Mr Bell?
Well, I'm waiting, obviously, for what the people of Ramsey decide at the end of the election, and depending on that and the makeup of the new House of Keys will then inform my decision at that point.
Well, good morning.
Good morning
to you. Has the ministerial system ameliorated the original concept of an MHK, which basically was to serve the constituency that they were elected in?
Yes, nothing has changed at all. An MHK still serves the constituency he's elected for, and that always will be the case. But someone has to run the government of the Isle of Man. The ministerial system is working in spite of its critics, but there is no real conflict between being a minister and an MHK. We both serve the people of the Isle of Man. Do
people sometimes say to you, where were you when we needed you?
Well, I think most ministers are always available when they're needed, but clearly there are times when national affairs have to take priority, when crises arrive, and that will always be the case. And certainly going ahead, perhaps those times might be more frequent.
You've been sitting around the Council of Ministers table for some considerable time now. 10 years ago, your manifesto stated the Isle of Man has prospered over the last 5 years. Did the government prepare thoroughly enough for what's happened since then?
Yes, I think so. The work we've put in over the last 20 years, in fact, has been quite comprehensive and was, in fact, part of the original Prosperous and Caring Society strategy that was drawn up in 1986. We've incrementally redeveloped the infrastructure of the island, we've improved public services, we've developed the economy, and we've built up strong reserves.
Did we foresee happening what has happened? In other words, the UK visiting us in a rather destructive manner?
Well, there was always that potential. The customs agreement has always been subject to notice on either side. Previously it was 6 months, now it's 2 years.
Did we draw up a plan?
Well, we haven't had a specific plan for it, but clearly we have been building up reserves in anticipation of crises which might arrive. There is a problem now, but we will, I think, together come through this. We will be able to rebalance the budget, we will re-energise the economy, and we will replenish those funds. The
reciprocal health agreement, admittedly losing the reciprocal agreement would have saved the government cash, but wasn't that a bad misreading of the mood of the people?
I think it went down badly with the people, but it needs to be understood that this decision was made in the United Kingdom. It wasn't made by the Council of Ministers. The UK government, in fact, abrogated the agreement with the Channel Islands, Jersey and Guernsey, a year before the Isle of Man, and we were caught up on the backlash
so it was unexpected, rather.
Sorry?
It was unexpected, was it?
It was at the time, but when we were told about it, we were told it was most definitely the end of the agreement. The UK were not prepared to negotiate, and really it was only the change of minister that ultimately enabled negotiations to start again and to get the positive outcome.
Let's move to Ramsey. After the experience of Peel and Douglas, Ramsey's missed out badly on not having a marina, hasn't it?
Yes, it's very disappointing, probably one of the most disappointing actions of my political career.
You withdrew your support, didn't you?
At the behest of the people of Ramsey and the Ramsey commissioners at the time. Ramsey had a wonderful scheme being proposed for it. It was a £30 million private sector investment in the town, but there was a very strong lobby in town against it. A very nasty and unpleasant debate took place. And ultimately, the developers withdrew, and Ramsey missed the boat, excusing the pun, completely.
But it'd be presumably taking an experience of the other places, it would have done the town well to have actually had a marina.
Very much so, because a lot of the criticism at the time was whether, in fact, the marina would be filled, whether, in fact, it would stimulate regeneration. And if we look at Peel, all those questions have been very clearly answered. Ramsey should have had that, and I very much hope at some time in the not too distant future, Ramsey will get that opportunity again.
Is Ramsey a better place to live in than it was 5 years ago?
Ramsey's always a good place to live.
Yeah, well, putting that to one side, yes. I mean, has it developed in the 5 years?
Yes, I mean, the last 5 years, Ramsey has received somewhere in the region of £60 million worth of government investment. We've rebuilt housing, estates built new housing, new swimming pool. The new sewage system is underway, so the waters around the town will be cleared up. There's a number of benefits.
It's been long overdue, hasn't it?
It's been very long overdue, but Ramsey has had its fair share over quite a number of years. We have had investment quietly going on, and we can match, I think, the level of investment of any town on the island.
If you woke up as Chief Minister in October, Would that dismay you at all, or would you look forward to that?
It will certainly be a major challenge if that event comes about. The next 5 years are going to be very difficult. There are some very difficult and possibly painful decisions to be made, but I'm always one for a challenge, and if that day arises, I will certainly rise to the challenge.
Allan Bell, who's standing in the election on September the 29th for the constituency of Ramsey. It's 8 o'clock.